Hi students, now in this video lecture we will go through ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. So ideal solutions are simply those solutions that follow Raoult's law, right, at all conditions of temperature and concentrations. And non-ideal solutions are those solutions that do not follow Raoult's law, right? So let's understand all these in more detail. What do we mean when we say a solution follows Raoult's law, and what do we mean when we say a solution does not follow Raoult's law? So let's suppose we have a binary solution, right, that consists of two liquids, right, A and B, right? So let's say we have a binary solution, right, composed of A and B, composed of two liquids A and B. So these A and B, right, the solution of two liquids A and B, right, will form vapors above it, and these vapors will consist of A as well as B, vapors from liquid A as well as from liquid from vapors B. So these vapors will also consist of A and B. Now what Raoult's law states, if you look at these equations 1, 2, 3, these three equations we have done before also, we have this vapor pressure would consist of vapor pressure due to A and vapor pressure due to B. So vapor pressure due to A is partial vapor pressure of A, and due to B it's partial vapor pressure of B. So total vapor pressure would be PA plus PB, right? So what is PA and what is PB as per Raoult's law? We know that PA is PA0, that is vapor pressure due to pure liquid A, right, and XA is mole fraction of A in this solution. Similarly PB is PB XB, PB not XB, and XB is mole fraction of B in this solution. So total vapor pressure would be PA plus PB, which is this PA plus PB, and we know that mole fraction of components in this solution, the sum of mole fraction of all the components in solution is unity, right? So XA plus XB would be equal to 1, right? So we'll just substitute the value of XA from here, which would be 1 minus XB plus this. So total vapor pressure would be given by this equation. So as per Raoult's law, PA would be equal to this and PB would be equal to this. That is partial vapor pressure. What this means is partial vapor pressure due to A would be equal to, or would be directly proportional to, the mole fraction of A, and partial vapor pressure due to B would be directly proportional to the mole fraction of B. That is the amount. It simply means directly proportional to mole fraction of A and B means the partial vapor pressure which is above this liquid would be directly proportional to the amount of A in this solution and amount of B in this solution. More is A, so more vapors would form from A. More is B, so more vapors would consist of liquid B in vapor state, right? So these are solutions that follow this law, right, and these equations are ideal solutions, right? So we say solutions that comply with these Raoult's law equations are ideal solutions. And if we draw graphs based on these equations, these three equations, since it says that partial vapor pressure due to A is directly proportional to mole fraction of A, and partial vapor pressure due to B is directly proportional to mole fraction of B. So if we look at this graph, right, this graph is for Raoult's law, solutions that follow Raoult's law. This graph is for two liquids A and B. Suppose we start with A, right? XA is equals to 1 means we have pure liquid A, and XB is equals to 0 is it does not contain any amount of B liquid. So as we move towards right, in the x-axis we have mole fraction, in the y-axis we have vapor pressure. So as you keep adding liquid B, right, so so mole fraction of B will keep increasing in this solution. So as per Raoult's law, as the mole fraction of B, that is XB, would increase, then vapor pressure due to B will also increase, right? So here, as we are going towards right, so B is increasing. So B is increasing means, if you look at this graph, as we increase B, the vapor pressure of B will also increase. If you look here, at this point vapor pressure is this due to B, at this point it's here, at this point it's here. So we see that as we are increasing the mole fraction of liquid B, the vapor pressure due to B, that is here, it's increasing. So we get a straight line between mole fraction and vapor pressure, right? Similarly, if we start from here, let's say we start with pure liquid B, and if we keep adding or we keep increasing the mole concentration of A, right, towards left, we see that the graph between XB, right, and this the graph between XA, because XA is 0 here, so we are increasing XA. So the graph between XA and PA would be a straight line, same as this, right? And the sum of these vapor pressure, that is PA and PB, would be represented by this line joining these two, right? Now these are ideal solutions, right? And for ideal solutions, the components that are there in ideal solutions that follow Raoult's law, that is A and B, the interaction between solute and solvent would be equal to the interaction between solute and solvent. This is very important. Suppose this is A and B, one is solute, the other is solvent. This means interaction between AB would be equal to interaction AA and BB, right? This is true for ideal solutions. So since all the interactions, that is intermolecular forces of attraction between solution is equal to the intermolecular force of attraction between the two liquids that are there in the solution, right? So these are our ideal solutions. And for such solutions, for ideal solutions, we have delta H is equals to 0 and delta V is equals to 0. Delta H means change in energy, right? The change in enthalpy, right, or heat change is 0, because here you see that interaction between AB, AA and BB is same. So there is no bond broken or bond formed. So delta H would be 0, and delta V is also 0, because the solution that is formed, AB, has same intermolecular interactions as AA and BB, right? So there is no change in intermolecular force of attraction, so delta V would be equal to 0, right? We'll understand these when we understand these non-ideal solutions, right? So the example of ideal solutions are, what kind of liquids will form ideal solutions? Generally, dilute solutions that consist of polar solute in polar solvent and non-polar solute in non-polar solvent, right, are ideal solutions, right, or near to ideal. And example is benzene and toluene, bromoethane and iodoethane, NO2 and CH3OH. These are ideal solutions. And if we talk about at molecular level, right, A and B, the molecular size and structure of A and B would be same, right, and the attractive force between A and B would be same as AA and BB. This means the molecular size of liquid A, for example here, the molecular size and molecular structure of toluene and benzene would be nearly same, right? Same is with the rest of the examples, right? And this is important, that solute-solvent interaction is same as between solute-solute and solvent-solvent in case of ideal solutions. Now, what are non-ideal solutions? Solutions that does not comply with Raoult's law, for which PA is not equal to this, PB is not equal to this, and sum of PA plus PB is not equal to this. Those are non-ideal solutions. Now we will see why it does not comply with these, and why the total vapor pressure above is not equal to the vapor pressure, partial vapor pressure due to A and partial vapor pressure due to B. That is, the total vapor pressure is not equal to the sum of the partial vapor pressure due to A and B. It is either more or less, right? So partial vapor pressure due to A would either be less or more than the total of both the liquids. For example, this, since it doesn't comply with Raoult's law, so PA would either be greater than PA0 XA, right, or it may be less than PA0 and XA. Similarly, if we talk about sum of both these, PA plus PB would be equal to greater than PA0 plus PB0 or less than, right? So when it is more than partial vapor pressure due to A, right, this is positive deviation from Raoult's law, and when it is less, this is negative deviation from Raoult's law. So, and for these solutions, like we said, delta H is equals to 0, delta V is equals to 0. In ideal solutions, these would not be 0, right? These would not be equal to 0. So a solution obtained on mixing two liquids will be non-ideal if the solvent-solute interactions are weaker or stronger, right, then solute-solute or solvent-solvent interaction. These are their non-ideal solutions. Now let's see why solute-solvent interaction is not same as solute-solute and solvent-solvent interaction. Once we understand that, we will get to know what is the reason for this positive deviation and negative deviation of this solution from Raoult's law. Now, vapor pressure of non-ideal solutions, vapor pressure versus mole fraction would be curved lines. If you look at the graph for non-ideal solutions, it would not be these straight curved lines. You will get, it would not be straight lines like this. It would be curved lines, right? In case of positive deviations, vapor pressure would be more than the ideal case, right? It would be greater than the ideal case, and in case of negative deviations, the vapor pressure would be less than the ideal case. Now let's see why it's more or less. What kind of interactions are there in this solution of ideal non-ideal solutions that its vapor pressure is either more or less, right? So let's take example. Let's take example of, and one more thing, the solute-solvent interaction, the resulting solution, if it composed of A and B, which is a non-ideal solution, in that case, this AB interactions would not be equal to AA and BB. It would either be less or more. When it's more, it's positive deviation from Raoult's law, and when it is less, it is negative deviation from Raoult's law. Right, now let's take an example. A solution of acetone and ethanol is a non-ideal solution, right? That shows positive deviation from Raoult's law. Now let's see what kind of interactions are there in the solution of acetone and ethanol. We know that ethanol consists of C2H5 OH, right? It should not be like this. C2H5OH, right? This is an ethanol molecule. Similarly, So these interactions in pure ethanol, right, is, we know that ethanol consists of an electronegative oxygen atom, right, which can form a hydrogen bond with, if it has a hydrogen, it will form a hydrogen bond with another molecule of ethanol. So this is intermolecular hydrogen bonding that exists between ethanol molecules, right? So due to this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, this ethanol molecule is, there are strong interactions between ethanol molecules due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding, right? Now we say that solution of acetone in ethanol is a non-ideal solution. Now let's see what will happen when we introduce acetone in this, right? We know that acetone is CH3, right? It's CH3CO. So when you introduce acetone in ethanol, it will interfere with these hydrogen bonds of ethanol, right? So it will cancel these hydrogen bonds, resulting into weaker interaction between these ethanol molecules, right? So that is why we say that the interaction in case of positive deviation is less as compared to the negative deviation, as compared to the ideal solutions, right? And what now, since interactions are less, so what makes the vapor pressure higher as compared to the ideal solutions? Now we know that the molecules at the surface of the liquid, right, will escape into the vapor phase and will form vapors. So the molecules that have enough energy, right, that can overcome, we know that these molecules are also equally attracted by other molecules of the liquid, right? So there are intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules that are on the surface, which has to escape and form vapors, and the molecules that are inside the liquid. Those other molecules are trying to attract those molecules that are on the surface, and those molecules have to make vapors. Now the molecules that have enough energy that could overcome this intermolecular force of attraction, that is force of attraction between two molecules, they will escape and form vapors, right? So this is the ideal case. Now since we said that in case of type 2 solutions, right, it shows positive deviations. Positive deviation means this would be greater than PA0 plus PB0, right? That is vapor pressure of non-ideal liquid, ethanol and acetone, right? If we take ethanol and acetone in place of PA and PB, would be greater than this. Now if somehow we decrease, somehow this intermolecular force of attraction got less, right, then these molecules would easily escape into vapor phase, right, resulting into high vapor pressure, right? So this is what is happening as compared to ideal solution.